Good afternoon. So welcome to my channel if you haven't been here before. And before I begin talking about what I want to talk about, kindly ask you, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, you can kindly do so. And also hit the notification bell. There's a little bell there to notify you whenever I post a new video. So with that out of the way, I just want to share something with you guys, especially those of you who are close to my age. I just turned 59 this past April. And the reason for my video is, my question is, what are your plans and how long do you plan to work, first of all? What do you plan to do when you're going to retire, whatever age that might be? So that's, I found myself in April of this year. I lost my job at 59. I mentioned that in a couple of my videos in the past. At 59, and so, prior to that, I had plans, like what I wanted to do, when I wanted to retire, and what I was going to do, and, all these things. And so, sometimes in life, we get things thrown at us unexpectedly when we're not, I don't want to say prepared, we're not expecting it. And so, what do? I mean, most people, something happens and they're like lost. They're like a deer caught in the headlights, or like these squirrels crossing the street when they see a car coming, and they don't know what to do. And so here I am, unemployed. Financially, I'm okay, but mentally, I don't want to say I wasn't prepared. I wasn't expecting to be out of work at the time that I was. So here I am in a dilemma. So I'm saying, okay, what do I do now? Do I want to go and look for another job at my age, 59, even though I'm still pretty good condition, pretty good shape, sorry. I'm pretty good shape, good health. And I've always worked as a manager, so I've never had a job that was labor intensive, that I had to do a lot of things, mostly just give directions and stuff like that. But I was like, do I want to go back into that? Do I want to go back to the rat race at 59, starting basically almost all over again, implementing systems? That's one of the things I did for warehouse and inventory control systems. Implementing systems, putting teams together, establish inventory modules. And I'm like, do I want to do that? Do I want to go through what I was doing in my 20s and 30s and 40s? Do I want to go back to that? When mentally I was already set that in a couple of years, that's it. I was done. And I was like, so what do I do now? And so I decided, you know what? I'm not going back. I'm not going back through all that again. I'm not going to be taking orders from people again. I'm not going to be giving orders to people again. I was done with it. I'm like, it's not worth it. And like I said, financially, I'm okay. I mean, I'm not rich, and I'm not going to say that, now I can go and cruise and go on vacations and take all these trips. And, yes, that's part of my plan for when I'm in my 60s, but it's, it's going to be very limited. It's not going to be major trips and stuff like that. But, I'm okay, but I was like, do I want to go back to that? So when I decided that I'm not going back, my next thing was, okay, now what? What do I do now? I don't want to just sit around, because I've never been the kind of person to just sit around and do nothing. I've always been busy. I mean, too busy if you ask people who know me. I've been known to burn the candle at both ends and then some. And so here I am, like, what am I going to do now? So I started venturing into some things, but here's the difference. Sometimes we do things because we have to, especially when it comes to earning a living, to making money. Sometimes we do things because we have to. But the things that I'm looking into now are not because I have to, it's because I want to. And I can do it whenever I want. I can study as much as I want, as little as I want. If I'm successful, great. If I'm not, so what? Next venture, let me try something else. So that's the attitude and the mindset that I have. And I got to be careful though, because I have become a little lazy, and I've never been lazy in my life. I mean, I'm still keeping, compared to the average person, I'm still keeping really, really busy. But one thing I decided was I wasn't going to sit around in the house all day long. I wasn't going to go sit at the park, which I am now. I wasn't going to go sit at the park all day long and do nothing. To me, I mean, it's important to take time and rest, but we also need to be productive. And so what I've done is I'll get up in the morning, I'll have my cup of coffee while I'm reading my Bible and praying, and then I'll go to the gym, or the park running like I'm going to do now, and I'll spend 2 hours. And that's the beauty about it. That's like, you don't have a set time. You can't, it's not like I'm going to the gym and I have to be out in an hour. It doesn't matter if it takes you 2 hours to get through your workout. It doesn't matter. And that's the beauty of it. It's like, you don't have to, you're not in a rush. And that's the one thing that I've found good about this. I've been retired now 7 months. As I said, not of my own choosing on this time, but it's here, and that's what I'm going to do with it. So I get up in the morning and I go to the gym. I do certain things. Go back home when the weather's nice. I have a garden, so I'm in my garden for a while, running some errands, going to the store. My wife and I always used to go grocery shopping on the weekends. And now it's, so what? If we don't get to go on a weekend, if it's a nice day on a Sunday and we want to go somewhere, and, I can go during the week. She'll go to work and I'll go do it during the week, and it doesn't matter. And it's actually better because there's less people around. And, then at night we do whatever. I'll, do my reading, and I spend very little time watching TV. TV is a waste of time. TV is, it's just going to fry your brain, and all you're getting is garbage, put into your brain. And so I spend a lot of time reading, and that's very important. And then I do put projects. We have a whiteboard in my kitchen, a calendar, actually a versatile calendar, and on the side is to do. And every month I go in there and I put a list of things that I want to do that month. Some things are tiny little things. Some things are major projects. Like, for example, my basement. My basement needs to get reorganized. I have to paint it. I have to change locks on the doors. I have to do big projects would you consider big. And I've had that on that list for 3 or 4 months now. Have I been procrastinating on it? No, I haven't, because I said, okay, those are things that need to be done indoors. The winter's coming. It's starting to get chilly. As a matter of fact, this morning it was like 43 degrees. The winter's coming, and there's going to be months where I'm not going to be able to go outside and be out here in the park just walking around and doing things outside. I'm not going to have my garden any longer in the winter time. So I'm leaving the indoor stuff for the cold months, so I don't find myself bored or going crazy or watching TV all day long. So we need to have a plan. You need to have a plan of how you're going to organize your day. And it's all right to have a day or two here and there where you just do nothing. And I've had those days. I believe I've had one, maybe 1 or 2 in the last week, where I'm like, you know what? I don't do anything. And that's the beauty about it. You don't have to, because you have tomorrow. And so I have found that even though the job that I had there wasn't that much stress. I don't want to say it was stress-free, but it didn't have much stress. Even though I had that job that didn't have a lot of stress, I have less stress now. I don't worry about the stupid things that I used to worry about. I get to spend more time at home. I get to enjoy the elements better, more. I get to be outside in nature. And I always did those things, but now I just get to do it more. And the beauty about it is that there's a big difference between having to do something and wanting to do something. And that's what I've been doing, trying to keep myself busy, just doing the little things and stuff like that. I've also been thinking of maybe, not yet, but maybe in the springtime, a couple of months from now, maybe I'll go and get a part-time job just to, have a little extra income, or to, if the things that I'm doing right now don't fly, don't take off the way I hope it would take off, get a little part-time job, just have a little extra income, and just, pass the time, but because basically right now I'm just waiting for time. Hopefully in about 3 years I can start doing some traveling, which I have plans for that too. A lot of plans, and if everything goes well, that's what I will do. But if not, I'll do whatever the Lord calls me to do. And that's why, as Jesus says in the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew chapters 5, 6, and 7, he says, don't worry about tomorrow. That's chapter 6. He says, don't worry about tomorrow. Why are you worrying about tomorrow? Today has sufficient problems. Today's problems are sufficient in itself. He talks about how God feeds the birds in the air, the lilies of the field, how he grows them, and how beautiful and splendid they are. And he talks about all these things. And it reminds us that don't worry about tomorrow. Just live today and enjoy today. There's enough ugliness in the world. If you want to find ugly things in the world, it's out there. If you want to just go on social media and you'll see enough ugly. Look at politics. Look at the wars going on. There's enough ugliness in the world. If you want to find it, it's there. You don't have to look too hard. The hard thing is not to look at them and to stay away from them as much as possible. And I'm not saying to be ignorant and not keep yourself informed as to what's happening in the world around you. But we need to limit how much of that we take in and enjoy the little things in life. God has given us a life to enjoy it. And I'm not saying don't worry and I'm not saying don't concern yourself with those things and about those people who are going through those trials and struggles that we see going on. And, if we can help or do whatever we can to help them. That's great. Do it. But you also to enjoy life and to enjoy walking out in nature. Just, sitting in the sun, which I normally do. I'll get home from whatever I did, the gym or run or whatever. I'll get my protein drink. I'll go sit in my backyard in my patio and just bask in the sun. Even if it's only 40 degrees, the sun is still good for you. Vitamin D, we need it so you can stay healthy. Anyway, just a little something I wanted to share on my 6 months of retirement. God bless you.